My name is Neil Ferguson, and I retired as an electronic chief technician senior. Did instructor duty at Great Lakes. We teach the stuff in 2 week blocks, and each instructor has one block in 2 weeks, so you teach it over and over and over. And so it's routine. You get in, get acquainted with people, have a seating chart so you know who's what, which space belongs to which name. And they're pretty smart and learn the stuff. Just you have a lesson plan, you go through it. Just routine. First time is kind of a little scary, but it's just routine. You get another room full of people coming in, and you teach the subject, and another room full of people comes in 2 weeks. It's routine. One thing was amusing though, and we had a receiver. They had a thing in there called a thermistor in a circuitry, and we taught that it had a positive temperature coefficient, and when it gets hot, it'll heat up and it'll keep the volume the same. And then they changed the curriculum. They changed it, and the students coming up, the new students coming up, who went through the new curriculum, they told us that no, thermistors have a negative temperature coefficient. Well, we taught how it worked with a positive temperature coefficient. Well, it turns out they do have a negative temperature coefficient. Now what do? We have to dream up a new theory, haven't we? How it would still do the job when it got too hot. That was funny. And then later on, they put me in charge of the exam center. I like that. That was my last job. Was my favorite job. It was a lot of fun. We take the exams. An examination has a bunch of questions on it. It's supposed to be, those questions are supposed to stay on that exam. You give the exam some other time, you use that same exam again, and that way you know what the average is going to be. If the students get higher average on it, then they're learning more, or if you're getting lower average, they're not learning as much. So you can tell how things are going by the exam. But we did a little bit different. I didn't instigate it, but they were starting to do that. Each exam, question number one, they would keep track of the statistics on it. How many, the average number of people that passed it, and then they have what they call a discrimination factor. The smart people would miss this one, but the dumb people would get it right. And you have a discrimination factor of some particular number. And so you can use every question would have an average to that question. So if you take all the 70 average questions, put them together, you'll average 70 on the exam. And to keep the smart people from getting too smart in their business, we put some of those discriminating factors, just throw a few of them in there, keep them on their toes. They didn't like it, of course. But they were correct. It was a little bit tough to figure out what was going to happen. So I learned a lot about the exams. I like my whole career, on board ship and off. I guess if I didn't like it, I wouldn't stay done it, but I did. I had real nice jobs. If you do your work, you don't get bothered by anyone. I wasn't bothered by anyone, and where I went. I guess the most memorable, it's no big thing, but being in charge of the exam center, messing with exams, just learning all about exams, how to write questions and the choices. You write a question, and which is fine, but then the other answers you put on there, they're not supposed to be one that's real close to the answer where a person, if you could calculate like 2 different ways, and one way is correct and the other way is not, you're not supposed to have the answer on the exam. That doesn't test whether the guy knows it or not, it just means that he goofed up. And if he doesn't know the answer, he'll pick anything. You don't need to make it what the answer is, so you don't want to put answers in there that's going to mislead a person if you want a good result of an exam. So I was learning that kind of stuff. I thought about trying to get a job in an examination, some company, education services or something like that, where they deal in exams. I never did. I didn't have college education to support it, so I gave up on that. But that's fun though. I guess that's my most memorable. Either that or it's because of my last one, I don't know which.
Outstanding. For when we go and edit this, would you say for us, my first ship was this and my second ship was this, and this way we could edit that into when you talk about both of those vessels?